afternoon, everyone. I'm glad you could make it out today. I'm John Harmon. I'm President and CEO of the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey. Today we filed a formal complaint with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development against the Trenton Housing Authority, Penrose, the developer, and AJD Construction, they're the general contractor, for failure to comply with federal guidelines regarding the Charles Miller Homes Hope 6 project. Tough economic times warrant tough accountability measures. Some time ago, the Trenton Housing Authority received a $26 million grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to demolish the buildings behind us and commence construction on approximately 400 new houses at a total cost of somewhere in the area of $105 million. However, one major problem is that the Trenton Housing Authority, the recipient of the HUD funds, and Penrose, developer, and AJD Construction, the general contractor, refused to provide the community with a plan as to how they would maximize local hiring and contracts. At minimum, the plan should have talked about the number of hires under Section 3 for residents of public housing, for residents of the Trenton community and businesses of this community to date. They've chosen not to provide that information. Additionally, they should have provided a detailed budget as to the allocation of resources and contracts to date. Given the high level of poverty here in Trenton, the high level of unemployment in Trenton, and the number of local businesses that are seeking opportunities from this Hope 6 project, we cannot sit idly by and let what has transpired continue. What have we done to date? About a month and a half ago, we had a meeting with HUD officials in Washington just to get up to speed what the regulations require with respect to Section 3. And then we had a follow-up meeting with White House officials, and we asked them to intercede because we needed some help, not only here in the city of Trenton, but throughout the state of New Jersey with projects similar to this and the administering of public dollars. We've secured a firm called the Motivation Inc. as our advisor in this matter. They are specialists in HUD-related activities, and they're going to be a very good partner in this effort. Lastly, the Obama administration, as we all know too well, has received harsh criticism on a regular basis as to their ability to create jobs in this economy. I would submit to you today, this is one of the reasons they cannot create jobs or have not created the number of jobs that they desire. The President and his administration sends federal funds to cities like Trenton and agencies like the Trenton Housing Authority and Penrose and AJD Construction. They take those dollars and they do minimum in terms of hiring, they do minimum in terms of contracting. So they're not committed to the same goals and objectives that members of this community are in terms of ensuring that the maximum number of jobs be created, the maximum number of contract opportunities be created in this community, and that has not happened. Based on our due diligence and our opinion, we believe that the filing today with HUD was the appropriate thing. I had conversations with HUD this morning. They have confirmed receipt of our complaint. They have made it clear to me and to the board, I have a number of our board of directors flanked behind me, that they will do all they can to have a thorough investigation of our complaint and ensure that the appropriate remedies will be would follow. So with that, we're very not only pleased with our actions, but we're confident that the voices of Trentonians will be finally heard. For too long, you know, we've sat by as a community in many instances and seen millions of dollars come here in the city of Trenton, and those dollars go outside of this city to others and not to the members of this community. We will no longer tolerate this type of action, not only here in Trenton, but throughout the state of New Jersey. But we need you to stand up with us and engage your elected officials, engage the board of the Trenton Housing Authority, and let them know that we're watching them and that we're going to ensure that they do what's right by way of the community. I'll take some questions in a minute, but Dan Green, a member of this community, would like to make some comments, and then we'll be open to questions. Thank you so much for coming.
Good afternoon. Clearly we've reached a point where we understand from statistics an educated and employed population is less likely inclined to do crime. Sadly, in the city of Trenton, our population has become indoctrinated to the point where they accept and are content with nothing. But a new day is going to arrive in Trenton. People from the city of Trenton are now paying attention. Informed individuals are making accountability and responsibility words that come to the forefront. It is time for Trenton to wake up and pay attention to what's going on. $1 million projects come through here, and organic Trenton businesses aren't allowed to participate in the process. I am fatigued and tired of seeing on job sites Patterson, Parsippany, Jackson, Delaware, all businesses and organizations who take our money and our dollars to the suburbs that they live in. It's time to invest in Trentonian, invest in Trenton, and rebuild the capital city. That is what we're about. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
John, what do you want?
Well, first of all, we want HUD to do a thorough investigation and make sure that the contracting parties in this opportunity make sure that they reach the stated goals. HUD is very clear in terms of what the dollars are supposed to do in terms of creating jobs in this community. When Dr. King and President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1968, or 64, I'm sorry, they made it clear that this type of legislation, HUD Section 3, was to target the very poor and low income and those who reside in public housing. So they should be the first recipients of jobs and then members of this community. So in sum, we want the maximum number of jobs, maximum number of contracts that these dollars would afford given back to this community. That's what we want.
And there's actual benchmarks for this money, right?
Absolutely. The regs are very clear. In your press packet, it'll tell you exactly what the regs state about that. But it's very clear what they're supposed to do, and it's very evident what they have not done to date. I'll say one other thing, and I'll close with this if there's no other questions. If you search the record, I think in the state of Minnesota, there was a substantial monetary reward given to a contractor who filed a similar complaint. So there is punitive damages for the disregard of federal law, and this is why we took our action to HUD. This is why we engaged the White House, because to date there's been very little support from this administration, the city administration, on this effort, and we found that to be a little bit mind-boggling, given the fact that so many people in Trenton are without jobs. And as you can see behind us, the work that has commenced to date does not require skilled labor. It requires people that have the wherewithal to put on a pair of goggles, some safety boots, a helmet, and take a hammer and start tearing down the old building, and then cart the debris away in bags and put it in dumpsters. These are real living wage paying jobs that Trentonians could have today and would have a positive impact on our unemployment numbers in this city. Yes, ma'am.
While we are waiting for a remedy situation, what's going to be going on with this project?
Well, it is our hope that HUD will quickly intercede and maybe bring a halt to this project, and then we could have the representatives of the Housing Authority and perhaps the City of Trenton sit around the table with the Chamber and others and construct a plan wherein we can do now what we should have done at the outset to ensure that members of this community are afforded opportunity. That's our hope. Thank you again for coming, and you'll be hearing from us regarding more that's going to happen as things begin to unfold. Again, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, I am a local contractor here in the city of Trenton, and our problem is we not included. Give us our shot. We from here, we born here, we raised here, we work here. We spend our money here each and every day. Where's our chance that we should have been included into this process? And if we keep on not being included, it's going to be a problem. Is no money is being spent back here with us. Everybody get these jobs, they get paid, they go to the supermarkets where they live at, they go to the clothing store where they live at, and nobody supporting that money back here in the city of Trenton.
This project already was stalled in the first phase because of failure to comply with HUD regulations. And so I find it surprising that we're here at this juncture because they have scheduled meetings, and I don't know if that's just lip service or just to create appearance, but I have yet myself to hear back, and I see the project ongoing. So I find it surprisingly that we're actually here regarding this issue for this particular project.
For years, city contracts has been shut out of projects like this. We got too many qualified contractors around, and why can't we get a piece of it? We're not asking for much. We got to start somewhere also. We just trying to get in on some of these projects that they've been denying us for years, and it's our turn. It's not going to go down like that anymore.
I'm definitely one of the contractors, and I'm looking for some work. They done made a lot of promises, but I haven't seen anything as of to date telling us what was the requirements in terms of what we needed to have: workman's comp, insurance, bonded. And every time I call Lee Schrader's office, I don't get nothing, no answers and nothing back in return.
Where do it stop? Or actually, where do it start at? Because it got to start somewhere. It should have been started with the local contractors here in the city of Trenton. We got enough experience, we got enough people to be able to handle these kind of jobs, but ain't nobody was included in that.
Like Darren Green, active in my community and administrator in the school system. A lot of what I do and work with is usually with juveniles and young people of this city, and clearly you can talk to them and give them wise words, but at some point you have to give them something substantive in terms of employment and opportunities to move forward. I can clearly tell you an educated and employed population is less inclined to do crime, and continuously over and over we renege on our investment on our young people, and then they come up on the opposite side of the equation, and then we look funny as to why these things are occurring. It's very important that in urban city development, all organic businesses be given the opportunity to move forward, employ themselves, and invest in the city that they live and love in. But unfortunately, all the money seems to come in, and then it goes out to other suburbs who aren't here, and then we wonder why we're in poverty. We have a lot of work to do.
Okay, as a city resident here, I've lived here most of all my life. I actually was a resident of Miller Homes, and as a general contractor here in the city of Trenton for the past 16 years, I actually approached the executive director 9 months ago and explained to him that as a larger African American contractor here in the city of Trenton, that we had the capacity to take on a large portion of this project to the tune of anywhere between 5 and 10 million. And what we were looking to do was partner with other local contracting firms, at least 2 of them, to build the capacity so that we could take on a large portion of this project. The executive director told me that he would be willing to work with me. That was 9 months ago. I never got a call from him. So I thought that was totally disrespectful as the largest African American contractor here in the city, that on a project that's in essence of $100 million, that I would not be involved with the project. And I explained that to the executive director, and it kind of fell on deaf ears. So as you see, this lawsuit is a result of what they didn't do.